The choice of love. Jade Greene was a woman who always knew exactly what she wanted, until now. After years of hustling, she'd finally earned her real estate license, the final piece to launch her own career in the competitive luxury market. But despite her hard-won success, something was missing. In her mid-30s, the city felt as empty as her bed, and the unshakable desire for more tugged at her heart. She knew she'd sacrificed love in the name of ambition, and now that whisper of longing was louder than ever. Then she met him, Darnell Anderson. It was a not Friday night at a high-rise rooftop bar, and Jade was nursing her drink, lost in thought, her long fingers racing the glass. She wore a sleek lac dress that clung to every curve, her skin glowing under the dim amber lights. As she surveyed the room, her eyes landed on Darnell. He was tall, impossibly handsome, and had an air of absolute authority, the kind that could make any woman turn her head. Their yes met, and he walked over with that swagger of a man who knew exactly what he wanted. He extended his hand with a smirk. "Miss Greene, I'm Darnell Anderson," he said, his deep voice smooth as velvet, his grip firm and electrifying. "I couldn't help but notice you. You look like a woman who doesn't waste time." Jade felt her pulse quicken. "And what exactly makes you think that?" Darnell chuckled, his dark eyes raking over her. "Let's just say it takes one to know one." Their conversation flowed effortlessly. Over drinks, they shared their dreams and ambitions, both of them driven by the hunger to conquer, to succeed. Darnell was a powerful entrepreneur who owned a real estate investment firm, and he spoke in a way that made her feel like his equal. As he leaned closer, his hand brushed her thigh, sending shivers up her spine. Every word, every gesture was laced with an undercurrent of electricity. Hours later, he invited her back to his penthouse. The night blurred into passion as he backed her against his living room wall, his mouth capturing hers with an intensity that made her forget every caution, every hesitation. His hands moved over her body with a confidence that left her breathless, his lips tracing a hot path down her neck, each kiss igniting sparks that sent her reeling. In Darnell's arms, she felt powerful, as though together they could have the world at their feet. The nights with Darnell were luxurious and intoxicating, filled with red wine, soft sheets, and whispered plans about the empire they could build together. When they weren't locked in heated embraces, they discussed high-end properties, business ventures, and ambitious plans, each conversation an aphrodisiac of its own. Darnell saw Jade as his equal, his partner in every sense of the word, and it exhilarated her. Yet something in her still felt hollow, as though Darnell fed her hunger for success, but left her heart yearning for something softer, something more grounded. And then came Marcus. It was a Thursday evening when she first spotted him. She'd just stepped out of her office, heels clicking on the pavement, her mind racing with thoughts of clients and commissions. There, by his truck, was Marcus, leaning against the hood as he spoke with a coworker. He wore faded jeans and a plain t-shirt, his muscular arms crossed casually, and his smile, a slow, genuine smile that made her stop in her tracks. Their eyes met, and he gave her a nod. "Rough day?" She was caught off guard. "Something like that," she replied, her voice softer than she'd intended. He walked over, his stride easy and confident, and extended his hand. "Marcus King. Don't usually get to talk to anyone around here, dressed quite like you." She raised an eyebrow, a hint of a smile tugging at her lips. "And what exactly does that mean?" He chuckled, his gaze warm and steady. "It means you look like someone who's got places to be, but maybe you need someone to help you slow down once in a while." There was something disarming about Marcus, a raw authenticity that made her feel unexpectedly at ease. He asked her to join him for coffee that night, and she surprised herself by saying yes. They walked to a nearby cafe, talking about everything and nothing, his easy laughter a balm to her restless spirit. She learned he was a trash truck driver, and he was saving up to open a community center for kids in his old neighborhood. As he spoke, she found herself captivated by his passion, his vision not for power or wealth, but for a life of meaning. As the evening deepened, their connection grew stronger, the city lights casting shadows that felt intimate and protective. When he touched her hand, she felt an unexpected thrill, a warmth that crept into her cheeks at the end of the night as they lingered outside her building. Marcus brushed his thumb across her cheek, leaning in close, his voice a low whisper. "Can I kiss you, Jade?" The question left her breathless. She barely nodded before his lips were on hers, soft but firm, every brush a promise of more. Marcus's touch was slower, gentler, yet just as intense, his hands exploring her as if she were precious, something to savor. Their kisses deepened, and she felt herself melting into him, his warmth grounding her in a way that left her dizzy with longing. With Marcus, every kiss, every embrace was tender, filled with a sincerity that left her both exposed and exhilarated. Their nights together were uncomplicated, but soul-stirring. His gentle caresses and quiet laughter, a reminder that life could be just as fulfilling when stripped of grandeur. And yet he too held dreams of his own, dreams of creating a legacy in his community, of building something real, something lasting. When they lay tangled in bed, he would stroke her hair, whispering to her about a future that felt simpler, but perhaps more authentic. Days passed, and Jade found herself torn between these two men, each of whom stirred different parts of her soul. Darnell was everything she thought she'd wanted, a powerful partner, an equal in ambition, a man whose world matched her own drive for success. With him, she felt like a queen, poised to conquer. But Marcus offered her something she'd never considered, a life built on purpose, joy, and a deeper kind of passion. One evening, after an extravagant dinner with Darnell, he held her close, his fingers tracing lazy circles on her bare back as they lay in his luxurious penthouse. His voice, a hushed murmur, sent chills down her spine. "Come with me, Jade," he whispered, his lips brushing her ear. "Let's build something together. We'd be unstoppable. You know that." She felt the pull of his words, the way he saw her as a partner in his ambitious world. But as she lay there, her mind drifted to Marcus, to his rough hands and easy smile, to the way he made her feel more like herself. A few nights later, she found herself with Marcus, sitting on the hood of his truck, looking out at the stars. The cool night air wrapped around them as he pulled her close, his warmth seeping into her skin. "Jade," he murmured, his thumb tracing slow circles on her hand. "No, I don't have everything figured out, but I want you with me. I'll want a partner, someone I can build a real life with." His words struck a chord in her heart, filling her with an ache that was both thrilling and terrifying. Here was a man who wanted her, just as she was, no pretense, no expectations. As the nights passed, Jade was tormented by her choice. Darnell was the powerful future she'd always envisioned, a man who saw her ambition and matched it. With him, she could imagine a life of luxury and power where they'd be unstoppable together. But Marcus offered her a different path, one that was simpler yet filled with the kind of love and meaning she'd never known. One night, alone in her apartment, Jade reached for her phone, her hands trembling as she scrolled through her contacts. Her thumb hovered over each man's name, her heart racing as she pictured each future. Just as she was about to press a name, her phone lit up with a notification. Offer pending on new listing. It was a career opportunity she couldn't ignore, the thrill of it cutting through her indecision. Her mind raced as she looked at the notification, feeling the familiar pull of ambition, the very thing that had driven her all these years. Her phone buzzed again, and she froze, caught between her career and the two men who could change her life forever. Jade's heart pounded as she stared at her phone. Would she finally answer the call to love? Or was she destined to choose ambition one more time, leaving both Darnell and Marcus in her past?